Hey, what we're going to do is we're going to take some of the code we've written for our employee application, our MERN application, and we're going to put it under GitHub. Let's talk about what we're doing with the two pieces. We have the server side that's running Node and brings up our server part of the application. And we also have our client side. We're going to start by putting our client side under GitHub. The client side is built using React, and that's going to make it a little bit easier to put that under GitHub. If you don't have a GitHub account, go in and create one. And once you're in, you'll see several different ways you can create a new repository. I'm going to hit this new button right here, and I'm going to give it a name, and I'm going to call it Employee Records Client to distinguish it from the server. The rest of these options here you can leave blank. You could put in the description if you want. I'm going to go ahead and create the repository. Over here in a window, I have up the place where I installed both the server and the client, and we're working on the client right now. So we're going to go inside client, and if you go there, you're going to notice that when we used React to create this application and to begin with, it created a .getignore file there. So that's going to make it easier to create it under GitHub. So you should see that file. Bring up a command or terminal window and change to the area where your client is. So this is client here, and I'm actually changing that directory. We're going to edit this README file. You know, actually looking over this README file, I think we're going to keep it because it does have some useful stuff there. So let's just leave it as it is. We go into the terminal window underneath client, and the first thing we do is we do a get init. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to add all the files here into get. So we say get add dot. The dot means everything. Now, it actually really didn't do everything because Create React has set up this .getignore file, and so luckily it's not pushing up tons of things that we, are part of kind of the framework that we really don't want and get in the repository. You can see some comments here talking about line feed and control line feed. That's that difference, how it's treated on Windows versus how it's treated in Linux. Okay, let's try that again. Instead of doing the single quotes, we have to do a double quote, I think. Let's give that a try. Okay, so we're going to say get commit -m double quote initial check-in. I just gave it my email address and my name, and I'm going to see if we can commit now. Forgot the word get commit initial check-in. Yes, we checked the files in. Just to make sure we all get this. So here are the files that it pushed up to GitHub, and if you open getignore, these are all the files that did not get pushed up. And if you look at the main one here, it's node modules, which is a ton of code that we kind of pulled down. We don't want that all pushed up there. All right, we're not done yet. We have a couple more things to do. Let's go back over here. These are the rough instructions of what we were doing, not an exact match. We have to go and do the next piece. So we did the commit, the first commit. The next thing up we're going to do is we're going to do this making the main branch. I'm just going to copy and paste that in, and then we're going to copy this next command in, which is tying everything together, and we're going to paste that in, and then here is our last command, and we do the push. let's try going over to this page here, which was kind of the default of what's going on with this application up in the repository. I'm just going to refresh the page because it should look a little different now, I think. You can see that now it has pieces up here. So, and it says our initial, that was the comment that we made. So it has pushed these pieces under version control, which is exactly what we wanted to accomplish.